Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your person. There are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the orange calcite, along with this letter. Group 2 is the carnelian, along with this letter. And group 3 is the Angelite, along with this letter. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the orange calcite, along with this letter, which I will read in a minute. I want to start by getting some tarot and a few oracle cards to see just kind of a general energy check-in with your person, what's going on with them right now, how are they feeling about you and the connection. Okay, so we've got the King of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Page of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Four of Cups, so water energy again. We have Ray, counter malicious talk by casting its import from your mind. Butterfly, delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. And Crocodile, the alchemy of energy teaches that death will always yield new life. So if your person is in a third-party situation, this can be another romantic partnership. The third party can have to do with kind of toxic belief systems or even a relationship with themselves that has not been serving their highest good or has been self-limiting in some way. Third-party energies can talk about heartbreak from the past, exes that they have been struggling to sort of let go from or to heal or move on from, either the idea of what has happened in that connection or the person themselves, maybe kind of waiting for someone from the past to return, which has been an obstacle in your situation. This can tie into relationships with family, friend groups, or even, again, that idea of like their relationship with themselves in some manner. It feels that external influences, external parties, that this is kind of the hot topic right now for your person. Really reevaluating perhaps even that full range of what I've just listed out in terms of how kind of like the relationship or the influence of other people in their lives, maybe very dramatic people. It's like the idea of crocodile tears, narcissists that they may be dealing with, people that have been very manipulative with them or kind of guilting them into sort of staying in certain situations, or even very resentful or triggered of changes, energetically speaking, or in terms of lifestyle goals, how they're moving through the world, that your person has been encouraged to sort of do the internal work, ways in which they've been trying to branch out in their surroundings that people may have been putting up a lot of resistance in this stance. In this instance, this can also tie into the idea of really, again, sort of evaluating these external connections and starting to see or put together the pieces, connect all the dots, like these profound sort of aha moments that go beyond just an epiphany. Like it may be something that started with an epiphany, but now there's kind of concrete evidence. They're seeing things that they were blind to before or unwilling to look at. They're seeing maybe how certain people are occupying too much space in their life. They've been prioritizing the wrong thing. If this is sort of like a ghost of the past energy where they've been waiting for someone to return, to make matters right, there's almost a sense of your person recognizing that they're depriving themselves of wish fulfillment, of other opportunities in the here and now that have presented themselves, maybe even in the form of you and your connection, for a new chance at love, a new chance at partnership, a chance to really rewrite the script and narrative of what they've been dealing with. They may be in a very defensive position at this time, a lot of conflict going on, relationships eroding, again, like family relationships strained, friendships that may be in the process of kind of heading out the door, even other romantic connections with current other third parties, current romantic partners that may be undergoing this process of strain and stress. Situations where they're really starting to see and recognize that these other things which they have chosen or prioritized over you in the connection, or which have held some kind of degree of precedence for them, that these situations will not survive the process of personal transformation on an emotional level. That your person is really, it feels like, willingly getting ready to sort of get up and take action on in their life. So this can tie into they're getting ready to break up with somebody. They're getting ready to even put more distance between them and other individuals, not hanging out with the friends group as much. Setting up healthy boundaries with family if they've got, sort of like helicopter parents. Even if this is someone who's an adult, it's the energy of like an overbearing, maybe mother figure, very nosy kind of energy here, very, very much like controlling sort of energy. It also goes even deeper than that into this relationship with self. They're getting ready to stand up to themselves in some way, to really recognize how distortions, beliefs, maybe even stemming from different varieties of third-party connections have distorted or limited in some way their willingness and their ability to recognize healthy and high vibrational love and opportunity when it has been presented to them. Something they had overlooked or had misconstrued, or maybe were very fearful of, very defensive towards, by way of what you were offering to them in the past. So this definitely feels like an energy of a no contact situation, maybe, or something where, your person has kind of started to prioritize other things, maybe just their relationship with work, or a bit of sort of guardedness. They're fearful of commitment, fearful of opening up or being vulnerable. They're really at this stage right now of starting to understand how this has been blocking or limiting adventure in life, movement in the direction of some sort of higher experience than just kind of the stagnation, the regularity, the same kind of energy of manipulation and negativity that may be sort of the climate of their world, things that they had been very much in denial about. This may even been things that you'd mentioned, certain people that had an influence or sway upon this person, and they could have just really jumped to the defensive, really pushed you away out of this fierce loyalty to energies that it almost feels like they're starting to see these people don't necessarily really have their best interests at heart. Whatever this cause or this person or this, even just a feeling, a relationship within self that they had really fought to preserve at the expense of the connection with you, that this is actually sort of limiting them or stifling them. So they feel on the brink of, again, kind of getting up and taking some kind of profound action, something very surprising with this fish in the cup. It doesn't necessarily feel to relate to surprising sort of communication towards you. This may almost be something you could hear about it through the grapevine. You may sense this happening energetically if you're very tied in, sort of empathically with your person. It almost feels like they're getting ready to, or starting to really stand up to people in their lives, to say no, to rearrange those sort of dynamics, move into more of a state of personal empowerment, really sort of shift their reality in a very profound way. Long overdue changes that ultimately may change kind of what's possible between the two of you, who they emerge as, more of this empowered version of self, more of a fearless version of self, instead of being conflict avoidant. It's almost the idea of not fighting and being engaged in conflict for the sake of that, but really choosing their battles in a different sort of way, honoring their personal truth, fighting for themselves, and kind of a different meaning and experience of life. It's the idea of kind of breathing freshness back into their world and into their experience by becoming more selective about sort of who they are interacting with, what they are really feeding their energy to. It's the idea of kind of giving the eviction notice to things that have been living rent free in their head or their heart for far too long. People that are just very one-sided connections, or that there's been some sort of negativity or manipulation has been sort of the glue, the bonding that has kept circumstances in their life. Even the idea of, especially if it's family or longtime friends, well, I've known these people for so long, or they're my family, so I just have to sort of put up with whatever this is that has kind of in some way undermined either people who didn't approve of you in the connection, or in some way have had some kind of sway or influence in terms of risks and chances, or the type of life that this person is living. They may be someone who is really into kind of, people pleasing, or they've got codependent tendencies where their actions were sort of based on how's this going to be perceived by others, very concerned with appearances, opulence, maybe even sort of pursuing a career path at the expense of love. You may have come very unexpectedly into their life, having something to offer them that they weren't necessarily geared toward, they weren't necessarily looking toward, and rather than finding space to make room for, this and that, whatever they were pursuing, and this gift of kind of connection and affection, it almost feels they may have sort of pushed that away, or chosen to disconnect, left you at kind of a crossroads, ghosted or blocked, or just been very kind of closed off and unyielding to you, unwilling to sort of participate or give any explanations. And it feels to be something that in the aftermath of that, it's like somebody tucked into a corner, somebody who may have a lot of success, a lot of people around, a lot of status, but they feel very, very trapped, very much, with this King of Pentacles who's wearing the suit of armor underneath his cloak. There's a constriction. There's a sense of they're not as fulfilled as they present to be on the outside, and they feel to be on the brink of actually, or have already started in sort of small ways, little ways, maybe even just setting healthier boundaries. They're at the point of getting up and doing something about it, showing their teeth, where they've just been sort of going with the flow, or sort of moving in the direction that hasn't really been in the nature of their highest good. So some degree of transformation that has taken place within them, that's sort of like enough is enough. And this feels to be something that may kind of be an important first step, or at least an energy that is rising up within them that may possibly lead to the opening of communication between the two of you again in the future, or it's just sort of, it's leading to the rebirth of your person in a very different way, in an empowered and healthy way, versus sort of feeding into that distortion and negativity. It's almost sort of asking, what do I really want deep down inside? Who am I really? What really resonates with me and kind of my highest good, seeing people around them for kind of who they are and what their motivations are, and starting to make some different decisions about kind of what they're investing in, what that material world and that emotional world sort of looks like for them. So I'm going to read the channeled letter from your person, and then I'm going to get some standalone message cards to elaborate a little bit further about some additional things they want you to know at this time, thoughts and feelings from the higher self, and then I'll close it out with some initials. The winds of time have only served to perfect my feelings for you. Feelings of fear have given way to an intense and unquenchable curiosity. I wonder if you are happy without me, and I am becoming bolder in leaning in close to get a better look. The need for secrecy has been stifling, and the truth of love will no longer be contained by my best efforts. I feel you swimming away to a place I cannot access, and this is giving me the motivation to let my guard down, so you don't become just another missed opportunity. I don't have all the answers figured out, but I do know I want to take steps towards making the distance between us fade away. Everywhere I look, I am tickled by reminders of you. I deleted your pictures from my phone, and you are still burned so beautifully into my memory. I want more than just a glimpse of you. I want to work with you, to rebuild trust between us, and to repair the damage which has been done. You are radiant in how you have mended your wounds, And if I had not been the cause of your fractured heart, I would be none the wiser about the nature of the scars you carry. I pray you let love in again when it knocks on your door. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay. And they say, I am breaking free of my past. I carry guilt over what happened. I keep seeing 1111 everywhere. My beliefs are changing. We will be together again. And I am sending you telepathic messages. Okay, so let's get some initials. This is going to be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, so we've got M, Q, P, H, R, R, U, A, G, G, E, E, D, C, D, V, X, and L. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and several different kinds of channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. Chose the Carnelian along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start by getting a few tarot cards and oracle cards just to do a quick little energy check-in with your person, see what's going on with them at this time. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Four of Wands, fire energy again. The Magician, which is Gemini. Llama, Let courage lead you to seek support and overcome a fear of intimacy. Bear, nurture creativity and return to the sweetness of life. And butterfly, delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. So there's a lot of enthusiasm about change that may have been long overdue, maybe even the prospect or awareness of manifesting a fresh start or a reunion in this connection with you. Although it fills with this idea of the magician, this is kind of somebody who may have had these changes that were long overdue. They've been postponing these things, shadow work. They may have been going through a very rough period of time, tower moments, kind of forced into the energy of humility and change by the universe. And they have broken through something. They burst out of some cocoon, renewed, rejuvenated, filled with a sense of purpose. This idea here with the Four of Wands is can talk about a lot of signs and synchronicities that they are getting, sort of somebody who is aligning more with their spiritual path, their spiritual side, cultivating a deep appreciation for intangible wealth. If this had been somebody who is very focused on sort of appearances or the trappings of the material world, maybe living in kind of like fear-based paradigms, avoiding, intimacy, as we see with this kind of llama energy working directly to overcome a fear of intimacy, kind of somebody who wanted to keep their options open, a grass is greener on the other side type of energy, where they were just sort of always moving from one situation to another situation. It feels like they're leaning more into a space of laying down some sort of roots for themselves, but rather than just fixing and choosing a physical location or a particular profession, it's almost the idea of they have journeyed deeply within themselves. They're motivated to sort of discover who they truly are in order to be able to understand more deeply what truly resonates with them, what truly is going to satisfy them on multiple levels. So this can be somebody who is going through some sort of, it doesn't even feel like existential crisis energy. It almost feels like they've broken through the other side of that. They've kind of, it's the idea of somebody who maybe has been in kind of a fever dream of their life, dealing with a lot of shadow work, confronting a lot of things, having a lot of things mirrored to them, and the fever has broken. They have instead emerged equipped and empowered to make positive change for themselves. They've stepped into some sort of leadership role within where they're really preserving and protecting sort of the sanctity of a life of meaning for themselves. So maybe even kind of carving out or prioritizing their spiritual path, their spiritual self, making space for that. If they had been sort of closeted or very much in denial about their spiritual self, this can also, this Four of Wands is considered the 1111 card. This can be a confirmation of a twin flame connection, maybe something where you each have been activated, and this was the runner in the situation, kind of running from themselves, running from you, running from some sort of deeper layers of who they are, kind of trying to fit into the shell and expectations of what society had presented to them, kind of trying to remain in that caterpillar mode rather than getting with the program of stepping into the process of becoming that butterfly. It feels to be something where they've almost surrendered to this change. The universe has had its way with them, and they are in some way more deeply aligned with the capacity to understand their personal truth, which it feels like is also leaning into some kind of greater perspective that may still be in the process of coming into full focus. It's a little remote for them. This can also talk about distance or steps that need to be taken, motivation and enthusiasm to make personal change in order to, it feels like kind of return to you as this changed version, show you a layer of them that had been hidden from themselves, that they had hidden from you in the connection, that had maybe been triggered. Maybe this was the spiritual self, the emotional self, kind of this otherness, this extraordinary quality of who they are on an energetic level, that they are in the process of getting to know, bringing that more out of sort of the internal landscape into kind of how that ripples in their material reality. Their idea of abundance may have changed. Their idea of what might have felt like a very set in stone sort of energy, they went in the cocoon, they closed off, or they just didn't kind of accompany you on some sort of path to ascension. You know, you sort of moved off perhaps in another direction, just really focusing on healing and growth and change. This almost feels to be something where your efforts have boomeranged to your person. It has helped them through their own process of transformation, where they may still be kind of like a work in progress, but they've reached some level of self-mastery and confidence that maybe this journey is not as scary as they thought it was. Maybe this is actually kind of in their best interest. It feels like they've overcome some sort of milestone, something that has been kind of a deep entrenched and kind of a long held pattern within, something relating to kind of not wanting to commit, not wanting to really even commit to, it feels like loving themselves and accepting themselves for all that they are. Constantly trying to run, constantly trying to tuck away in like hibernation mode, put off and delay sort of necessary changes, a process of adulting, or starting to get very sort of serious about the nature of how they're living their life, and kind of bigger question sort of energies right here, that it feels like they've successfully past some sort of initial period of initiation within this, and it's led to this enthusiasm about very positive experiences on the other side of what might have been a grueling or arduous change. Someone who's very stubborn to change. It's almost the idea of let go or be dragged, and the universe kind of had to drag them to this point, but they're coming through here with a vitality and a vigor, which feels to really lend to kind of what they're able to contribute energetically or even materially, steps that they may be getting kind of geared up to take towards you to bring forth some kind of higher truth, co-create with you, maybe acknowledge you in the nature of this connection, perhaps even using directly the terminology, you are my twin flame. This could be something that they were in denial about, or that they didn't even kind of recognize or know about, and they have perhaps stumbled on that. The universe has kind of presented that to them in the same way that you have come upon such topics and such ideas and concepts through your process of seeking and searching, sort of what's the nature of this dynamic, what, you know, this feels like something out of the ordinary. It feels like they've, in a circuitous route, reached that same sort of destination that you're at. And so now it's this process of kind of digesting all of it. Fear has definitely been replaced with the sense of, it feels very good to be open, to be honest, to not fight these energies or fight this current, fight the energetic nature of your connection, and fight with necessary changes within themselves, but to instead go with the flow. They're experiencing positive effects of that, which it feels like is really gearing them up to be more proactive in moving through the next kind of phases and layers of their own sort of personal journey, and process of evolution, spiritually, or even just in terms of how they're living their life, or how they're really holding or belief about the nature of this connection between the two of you. So I'm going to take a look at the channeled love letter from your person's higher self, and then after I read this letter, I'm going to get some standalone message cards that can serve as additional kind of words, things they want you to know, thoughts and feelings, and then I'll close it out with some initials. So let's see, what do they want you to know at this time? There is so much I want to show you of how love should be. I sense the vibration of betrayal when I am near you. I know you've had your heart broken so many times, and that you're scared to fall too hard, too soon again. The thought of someone rejecting you when all I see is a beautiful soul tears me up. I hope you will allow me to help you unlearn the mistruths of what your heart was taught before. I will wait for you. I am in no rush to have you see me for who I truly am. I know the wounds you carry are stubborn and cunning in how they try to keep you bound and isolated away from new beginnings. I am confident love will see you through this dark time. I want to rush in and save you, but you are so much stronger than I am, so what would be the point? Your heart already knows the answer you seek. I am manifesting more with you by stepping more fully into my own power. I want to be both the place you arrive to and the place you feel safest falling back into when the weight of the world is too heavy. The anticipation of the future weighs upon me pleasantly. I am optimistic about our next chapter together, and I am here when you're ready to receive me. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, and they say, I think so highly of you. Distance is hard for me. I am being sincere. Don't be tempted to lower your standards. I feel changes I can't explain yet. And I am clearing my karma. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got U, T, A, X, R, N, I, J, P, C, W, B, W, Z, S, and B. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter. I hope everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and several different kinds of channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. Chose the Angelite along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I want to start with some tarot and oracle cards just to get kind of a general overview of what's going on with your person right now. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Six of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Three of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Owl, seek out deeper knowledge to see through deception. Chameleon, Conceal ambition with patience until it is time to make your move. And Mouse, be persistent and incisive, and all obstacles will be overcome. So this is definitely the energy of somebody who is formulating a plan of action, something to prove to you, apology, through not just words of change, but efforts of change. They may be kind of in the energy of sort of knowing what they have now that it's gone. If you're in disconnect with one another, in separation, this could also be something where if it's kind of a current connection with one another and they have been hesitant to sort of open up, they've been vetting out this situation, some missed opportunities, or even kind of like hurt feelings that may have created some sort of awkwardness. There's an energy here of wanting to really soften the energy between the two of you, move back to the kind of the earlier stages, the return to innocence. They may be in a lot of nostalgia at this point in time, thinking back on kind of how the connection was, the early days, the sparks between the two of you before things became complicated. They may have been very aloof or unwilling to participate with you emotionally, kind of going through the motions on a surface level, spending time with one another, having conversations, interacting, but when it came to deeper emotional declarations and truths, they may have stayed very surface level, wanting to kind of just swim in the shallow end with you. That could have led to even just sort of resentment that may have built up that has kind of clouded or distorted the nature of your interactions with one another. And it may have really taken this sense of, even if there weren't words of disappointment spoken, if you're still dealing with one another and interacting with one another, that there may be some sort of distance at this point in time. You've kind of pulled back your energy, and it's really clued them into something is different, something has changed. And upon kind of closer inspection, they're starting to really sort of lean in and recognize their part in all of this, how they could have given you more of an explanation about their hesitations, maybe heartbreak from the past they are holding on to that is making them a little more cautious about entering into new love. It feels like efforts that they could have made to show you more appreciation, or even just to themselves kind of take note and appreciate situationally times that you were spending with one another. Now that there's kind of this, you've grown beyond that. You've either become very comfortable with one another and there's a desire to kind of add some more sweetness back into the situations. Things may have gotten very serious, between the two of you in terms of like tense interactions, maybe stress in both of your lives that are kind of limiting your quality time with one another. And so there's this longing and nostalgia for sort of simpler times, wishing that they had sort of savored that or had done more on their part to kind of keep this bridge between the two of you at the heart space open and functioning in a healthy capacity. It feels like they're being very closed off to you as far as their true intentions, or if this is somebody, in terms of the intentions about wanting to lean more deeply into this situation, or maybe even some kind of a surprise that they may be planning, some sort of gesture, some opening up or an invitation closer into their life, into their reality, some sort of perspective that they're getting ready, it feels like, to offer to you that can help. If they're not necessarily at the point with directly offering the words "I'm sorry," it's almost being more forthcoming about something that is the indication of apology via changed action, taking a different sort of approach or route to this connection, being a lot more attentive with you when they've got that quality one-on-one time, coming to you with less heaviness, more of a higher vibration. Or if this is somebody that you are completely estranged from, they're at a distance from you, this is again kind of working up the courage, working up the plan, getting ready to enact some sort of plan of action to sort of tiptoe back into your life, but not with the sense of wanting to, just kind of play cat and mouse games, but it's almost, they see things from a higher perspective now, but they're understanding it may be sort of slow to rebuild trust, that this is kind of, they don't want to repeat necessarily the same mistakes of the past, or that a different sort of rebuilding from scratch, rebuilding from square one is necessary in order to really course correct from where things have gone off kilter between the two of you previously. So it may be something where they're kind of like with the chameleon, watching from afar, kind of some Page of Swords energy, a little bit of spying going on, a little bit of sleuthing and detective work going on, especially if you're if you're totally in like a no contact situation with one another, they may be planning sort of what's necessary, how to sort of get back into your life, into your reality. What's the proper approach? Wanting to bring forth something that is mature and reliable rather than kind of the game playing energy they had been in before. So plans may be in the process of being formulated, kind of that they're scouting out the situation energetically. Literally, they may have kind of eyes on you at this point in time, or this is even just sort of like sitting in the energy of nostalgia, which may be translating to you as you're feeling waves of your person's energy. Even if it's someone you're dealing with currently, it's kind of like more than meets the eye in the situation. If they're being very stoic or closed off, their energy may be saying something very different to you, to where you're not sure really what to believe. You're kind of torn in a lot of directions. That might be something that is causing you to sort of retract into yourself a bit. You're not sure, is this going to be, a good turn of events, or are we getting ready to kind of be dismantled in terms of our dealings with one another? So, I'm going to read the channeled letter from your person's higher self, and then I'm going to get some standalone message cards to dig a little bit deeper into what else they want to tell you at this time. I'm sorry for making you feel unloved. I'm sorry for putting you on the back burner. The intensity of our bond necessitates that I unplug at times. I'm not good at expressing my feelings or my fears. I operate under the belief that to speak on a thing or to think too long affects change for better or worse. So I become cold as ice, a living void, until my panic at what we are becoming to one another and through one another subsides. I don't want to bring the reality of us into form too soon. I have unanswered questions that lurk inside, demanding answers before I will allow myself to fully succumb into the role I am being urged to rise into, so we may face the world together as the unified light of love that we are. During my alone time, I feel your sacred rage as torchlight, drawing me back in closer, threatening to erase my doubts about the transcendent nature of who you are. You are my rebirth, the beginning of all I have been destined for. I am terrified of you engulfing me, and I know I have no choice in the matter. You are the sun and you are the sky. Even as moonlight, you nourish my soul in ways no one else has before. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, and they say this setback is temporary and will resolve. I never meant to hurt you. Follow the signs. Don't be tempted to lower your standards. You are seeing the truth. And I am doubting everyone around me. So, the initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got R, P, X, N, G, H, L, S, F, G, Z, B, M, U, M, I, O, B, R, D, and A. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and several varieties of channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.